Hello guys, welcome to the second unit of data manipulation with Python. So this is the first exercise. So in this exercise, we are going to learn about mean and median. Okay, so how do you calculate mean? So it is a pretty straightforward function using this mean function for median. So this is the one. Okay, so let's move on to the next exercise. And in this exercise, we are going to see the summarizing the dates here. Okay, so for example, you want to see the maximum value in the particular column, we can use max, and for minimum, there is a minimum function. So that's about this exercise. Let's move on to the next exercise. And this is about efficient summaries. Okay, so here, this is a pretty interesting one, I would say. Okay, so previously we have seen mean, median, max and minimum functions on data frame, right? So let's say something like you have your custom function and you want to apply that function to the data frame. So in that case, we can use a function called aggregate, okay, AGG. And to that, we can pass the function, that we wrote the customized function. So this is what it is doing here. You see here, so sales, in that sales, we are looking in the temperatures underscore C column, and we're aggregating and by passing this function called IQR. So in that, it will take each column and then it will quantile with 0.75% minus this one. Okay, so we will get the final output here. So it is not only about that. If you want to do anything, so you can do that in the custom function. Okay, try to experiment this one. This is a pretty good feature, I would say, in the data frame. Okay, moving on. So here we will talk about cumulative statistics in this exercise. Okay, so here, see, the first one is sorting the data frame using a column, which is dates here. And then after that, you see here, there is a function called cumulative sum, CUM sum. So that means if you execute this program, right, you will understand, what I mean by that. So let me show that, okay? So let me, hold on a minute. It's taking time for me. Yeah. So let me first execute this line. Okay. So after this one, now let's run this one. See, basically, see here, the first one is the weekly sales. So this is the actual value of that particular row. And then the second one is the sum of first one, the second one. And the third one is sum of all together. So it will be like cumulative sum. Okay, so similarly, if you want cumulative max, so there is a function called cumulative max here. So this is the exercise. Okay, so you can take a look at it in this one. Okay, so yeah, so if you have any doubts, again, you can mention in the comment section. Move on to the next exercise. So before the exercise, they have a short video about counting, so which we are going to skip. And here, dropping the duplicates exercise. So let's say something like you want to drop any column. No, not column exactly. If you want to drop any duplicates, okay, from the data, we can use that basically. Okay, so that the function is called drop duplicates, and the subset it is given here is store and type. Okay, so we want to drop the duplicates in combination of these two row columns. Okay, so in case, let's say something like, again, it is not going to modify the existing, data frame. It will only generate a new one with this operation applied. Okay, so that is what about this exercise basically. Okay, so is holiday, wherever is holiday, we want to drop the duplicates with subset of dates here. Okay, so move on to the next exercise. And yeah, here we will learn about counting categorical values, okay, in this exercise. So you can take a look at it here. So let's say something like you can see the value count here. Okay, so value count. And similarly, if you want to normalize it, okay, normalize in the sense like you want 25% of data, 50% of data, 70%. So in that case, we will use normalize here. Okay, so these things, these details are already basically discussed in the video, or even you can take a look at the PPT that they have, I mean the slides of PDF file. Okay, so I would say they are pretty clear. But in case if you get stuck, please I mean use this video as a reference guide. Okay, so that's about this exercise. Moving on, next again they have a short video about group summary statistics, which we are going to skip. And the next exercise is about what percentage of sales occurred at each store type. Okay, so that means we are going to identify the sales occurred in each store. Okay, so they have three types of store, A, B, C, and we want to calculate the sum. Okay, sum of the weekly sales of each type of the store over here. So this is how we do it in this exercise. Okay, you can take a look at this one. So finally we have to print the values. Okay, so that's about this. Let's move on. And here we are going to learn about group by in this exercise. Okay, so that means if you want to group the data, okay, if you want to group the data by any column, we can use that. So group by type here, and then after that we want to operate on this particular weekly sales column here. So then we want to apply. Okay, so that's about this. And there is one more section or instruction in this exercise here also. So this is it's about it. So yeah, you can take a look at this complete exercise here. So this is also one of the good feature in pandas, group by. Let's move on to the next exercise here. So it is about multiple grouped summaries. Okay, so let's say something like you want to apply multiple summaries. I mean, you might remember, right? So earlier we identified a minimum, maximum, sum, okay, mean, medium of a particular column in the data frame. So let's say something we want to apply more than one in one go. So in that case, so for this aggregate function, right, AGG, and we can pass the list basically here. Okay, so it's not only about this numpy methods. You can have your own methods also, custom methods also, as we have seen earlier sections. Okay, so basically what we are doing here is we are grouping the data by type, and we are operating on weekly sales column, and we are aggregating or we are calculating the minimum of each type, and based on the type max and all. Okay, let's run this and then see here. And finally even we have some unemployment unemployment fuel statistics over here. So here also we are grouping by type and then unemployment, and the other columns we are operating here. So earlier here we are only operating on one column. Here we are operating on more than one column here. Let me run the code and then see. Okay, weekly sale is not defined. Seems like something I did not do it. Okay, but anyhow, this is a completed exercise, so you can take this as without any problem, because I did not run previous exercise. That's why I think I'm getting this error here. Okay, so yeah, that's about this. Line number 1, weekly sales is not defined. That is C. Okay, no problem. I will take a look at it. I mean, when I am done with this video. Move on. Yeah, this is they have again a short video about pivot tables. That's a good one. I mean, you should watch it. And yep, coming to the pivot tables. See, basically pivot tables are just like a group by a function that we have used. Okay, so if you remember, right, so we group by a particular column, and then we operate on one another column, right? So similarly we can do that here in the pivot tables also. Okay, so you can see this here in the in this section. Okay, so the values that we are going to operate is this is the one, weekly sales, and the group by, I mean, it is the type. Okay, see here, if you run this code, right, you will understand it. So we are grouping by the type and operating on the weeklies column here. So we will get the values of it. So that means we are operating, I mean, we're grouping by type and then identifying the other values here. So this is the pivot table. So the syntax is something like this. This is also pretty straightforward. Okay. So in the next instruction in the same exercise, they have multiple, I mean, they operate the aggregated functions. Okay. So, but uh, earlier we have used only AGG, right? But if you are using pivot tables, the syntax is different here. So we have to use AGG function, which is a list. So you can pass more than one value here. Okay, so that's about this exercise. Let me run this and then show you the output here as well. See here. So we are running on weekly sales column, and we have aggregate function more than one, right? So mean and median. So that's why we got two values. So for mean, one column, for median, another column, and the group by is the type. So that's the pivot table of this particular thing. Okay. So yeah, moving on to the next instruction here. So this is also, if you have like more than one column to operate on. So earlier we have seen only one, right? So in that case, what we do is we have columns filled and we need to pass that value here. Let me run and then show you what I'm talking about. Ta-da! Yeah, see here. So column is holiday, okay, false or true, and the type. So we are grouping by and the values. So that means, see, the columns will have multiple values, right? Okay, so in this case, it is always only a Boolean value, true or false, and the values that we are going to get is this weekly sales value. Okay, so for false, if it's a holiday, okay, and we have these sales here for each type, and if it is not, then we are getting these values here. Okay, that's about this exercise. And the next exercise is about filling the missing values. Okay, it is pretty straightforward. If you want to fill in the missing values, you can directly use fill any. Okay, this is the parameter we need to pass on to the pivot table. And the final one in this instruction is see here, print mean, weekly sales by department and type, filling any missing value with 0 and summing all rows and columns. Okay, so if you want to sum all these rows and all, we have to just pass on one more column here called margins is equal to true. Okay, so that's it about this exercise. So let me run and then show you. Yeah, so this is how it looks like. So the sum is this one. So earlier we have A and B, right? Okay, and when you pass on like margins true, then you will get addition or sum of both of them. Okay, so that's about that margin of it. Maybe I might be wrong, but we can learn it together. Okay, let's move on, guys. So again, they have a short video about explicit indexes, and we're going to skip it. And let's see here we are going to talk, learn about setting and removing the indexes. Okay, so let me take a look. What else we have in this one? Slicing, setting. Yeah, I think we have come to the third unit here, slicing and indexing. And I did not even realize actually, but that's okay. Let's cover this up very quickly. So this is about this exercise. Okay guys, I will take a pause here. Okay, I will meet you in the next video, and in that video we'll talk about this third unit, okay, of this particular course. Till then, take care.